From prehistoric to present, my name is Ethan. Welcome to a Saturday edition of CreatureGuide Live Daily News. I will be having random articles thrown at me. Some will be funny and some will be more serious. So let's throw up the first article and dive right into it. So, from KSBW.com, Sea Otter Awareness Week kicks off on Central Coast nationwide. Sea Otter Awareness Week runs through September 27th. I was not familiar with Sea Otter Awareness Week. I know of a handful of different, like, certain animal international days, and might be one where it's like a month, or there's an animal. I think there's like an international animal awareness month or wildlife awareness month. It's kind of unfortunate. I mean, say pretty much every
What's unfortunate?
there isn't like a international polar bear month or international polar bear week, and instead it's something political, and should be one of those instead. So let's see. Sunday, September 21st, marks the start of Sea Otter Awareness Week on the Central Coast and across the country. It's time to celebrate and learn about the, I guess, sea otter. Uh-oh. No, yeah, I'm just going to keep reading. Okay, wait a second. Yeah, but is there anything else about the animal? Some conservation center was expanded. All of them? Okay, we're gonna head over to the next article because this just seems to be goofy. But well, at least I know that there's a somewhere in this week. Hopefully, the sea urchins are in plentiful supply for them. They should be, considering they're actually having a bit of a negative impact on the kelp forests in certain regions. So, like off the coast of Alaska, British Columbia, Canada. So, from SciTechDaily.com, deep sea ghost sharks grow teeth on their foreheads, and scientists finally know why. Okay, these guys. A male or caught male spotted ratfish, Hydrologus coli, showing the extended / erect frontal clasper tenaculum on the front of the head. So that distinct, like, mini rhino horn. I didn't know how else to describe it. Male ghost sharks use tooth-studded rods in their foreheads for mating. Fossil and genetic evidence prove that they are true teeth, showcasing evolutionary flexibility. So it's almost like an extended tusk on the top of their snout. That's quite interesting. Male ghost sharks, eerie deep-sea fish known as chimeras and closely related to sharks and rays, have a strange rod that projects them from their foreheads and is covered with sharp retractable teeth. New research shows these are not simple imitations, but actual rows of teeth that develop outside the mouth. The unusual structure, called a tenaculum, is found only in males and is thought to play a role in reproduction. It represents the species' only set of distinct teeth and appears to help males hold on to females during mating. What? How? That sounds really painful. Much like sharks use their mouths and teeth for the same purpose. Yeah, but is it how? I'm confused. If these strange chimeras are sticking teeth on the front of their head, it makes you think about the dynamism of tooth development more generally. If chimeras can make a set of teeth outside the mouth, where else might we find teeth? Researchers from the University of Washington and the University of Chicago examined both fossilized remains and living ghost sharks to unravel the mystery. One fossil dating back 315 million years, there have been a wide range of different families of sharks that link to today's ghost sharks, especially during this is mentioning the Carboniferous period. I was thinking even further back during the Devonian period, so over 375 million years ago. Revealed a tenaculum connected to the upper jaw that carried teeth strikingly similar to those found inside the mouth. Modern specimens taken from Puget Sound display the same head-based tooth development observed in the jaws of present-day sharks. Huh. Genetic analysis further confirmed that these structures activated the same genes responsible for producing oral teeth. Oh, there's a small one.
Yeah, but where is it? I don't see it.
See what?
On its head.
Maybe this one isn't fully developed. I think this is a small. Yeah, it's a juvenile. Um, yeah, this is among some kelp. I wonder if this is further north. I don't exactly know where these specific sharks live. I'm guessing. I mean, you can find kelp forests off of Alaska, so maybe they coexist with the sea otters, blue whales, or humpback whales within those regions. What we found is that the teeth on this strange appendage look very much like rows of shark teeth. The ability to make teeth transferred onto that appendage, likely from the mouth. Over time, the tenaculum shortened but retained the ability to make oral teeth on this forehead appendage. Specialists in shark evolution anatomy were fascinated by the tooth-covered rods emerging from the foreheads of ghost sharks. Yeah, I am too. But it's the fact that they're used for reproduction. I was thinking like for just simply display, not possibly just embedding into the female. Their main question was whether the tenaculum contained genuine teeth connected to those in the mouth, or if it more closely resembled the tooth-like scales that cover the skin of sharks and some ghost sharks. Is this that tooth? CT or computed tomography scan of the adult male spotted rayfish frontal clasper, the tenaculum, covered in rows of teeth, rainbow, and these are the teeth, the rainbow colors. That's weird. I mean, it's quite unique,
Is it
but
weird that they're rainbow colored?
yeah, I guess they only had to put a single color, but um, hmm. CT scans of the fossils and modern chimeras gave the scientists unprecedented. Um, okay, so let's see. So the tenaculum teeth express genes found only in true teeth, never in shark skin denticles. Okay. Well, this was interesting to see with the chimeras as well as with the ghost sharks. Very unique displays of evolution. So let's head over to the next article. Ah, that's unfortunate. Hate when they do that. Yeah, I pulled up another site. Okay, so from sciencealert.com, incredible discovery revealed ancient creature that predated the dinosaurs. This looks like the Tuatara. Did we already talk about something like this? Hmm. Well, let's take a look. Incredible discovery reveals ancient creature that predated the dinosaurs. A tiny reptilian fossil, and yes, it's a Tuatara. Um, Tiny reptilian fossil has been excavated from layers of ancient sandstone where it was preserved for over 240 million years, predating the dinosaurs. It That distinct date is still debated, but at least at the moment, 240 million years ago was somewhere around at least 5 to 8 million years before the first true dinosaurs that we know of at the moment showed up. Let's see. The little lizard-like creature pinches the record for the oldest known lepidosaur. Until now, this title was held by Wartenbergia, which lived 3 to 7 million years later. Lepidosaurs are a group containing lizards, snakes, and the only living member of the order Rhynchocephalia. The only living member of the order is New Zealand's so-called living fossil, the Tuatara, which, despite the ravages of time, has maintained a very similar appearance to their Mesozoic ancestors. So the Mesozoic referring to the time that the dinosaurs existed, for the most part, started around 250 million years ago and ended up ending at around 66 million years ago. The new fossil has also been classified as a Ranchocephalian based on close analysis of its near complete skull and skeleton. Let's see. The new beast has relatively large triangular shaped teeth and probably use these to pierce and shear hard cuticles of its insect prey, pretty much as the tuatara does today. Oh, okay. Let's see. Here we have Agriodontosaurus. Also, something to mention is that not every animal that's been discovered with ending in the name Saurus is a dinosaur. In fact, many of them are different species of marine reptiles. Some are small lizard-like animals. These are actually quite distantly related to many species of lizard today, and some possibly like are even ancient prehistoric birds. Let's see. It's been named Agriodontosaurus hellesby petri, meaning fierce-toothed lizard of the Hellesby Sandstone Formation, the Middle Triassic stone in which it was found on a beach in Devon, UK. This find presents some of the oldest features of lepidosaurs, some of which made possible using cyclotron CT scans to probe the finer details of this tiny reptile. Our surprising scientists. So there's the specimen. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Are we looking at, like, the eye socket? Hmm. So the new fossil shows almost none of what we expected. Though it did have the open temporal bar similar to a cheekbone, they predicted Agriodontosaurus's palate lacked teeth, and its skull had no sign of a hinge. Yeah, this isn't surprising. Two things scientists expected of the first lepidosaurs. What's more, its teeth were surprisingly large. This specimen not only provides important information about the ancestral skull of all lepidosaurs, but also builds on the growing knowledge that the tuatara, which often called a living fossil, belongs to a once diverse order of ancient reptiles with a rich evolutionary history. Okay. Well, it's good to know a little more about the Tuatara's evolution, or at least the Rhynchocephalians in general during the Triassic. So let's head over to the next article. Okay, so from apg-wi.com, the Ashland Daily Express. Let's see. When bobcats roam, a look at Wisconsin's wild felines. Hmm. Oh, there's a blurry camera trap photo. Is he I wonder what's in front of him. Like a squirrel decided to make a dart for it, but he knows he's not hungry. Let's see. Uh, I've got a feeling this was just somebody writing about something she saw. Yeah, I think we need to find something else. I was thinking it was going to be like a sighting somewhere with,
That's what I thought. It was gonna be something about them, but
like where bobcats hadn't been seen, maybe somewhere in Wisconsin. Um, I would say you could find them in much of the state. Lynx is not so much though, or at least the Canadian lynx. Bobcat is lynx. Okay, so from wisn.com, uh, $500 bounty, two coyotes, roadside sign turning heads in Milwaukee. Milwaukee man said he's offering a reward to keep coyotes off his property. Okay, pretty much every morning they're there, and these are big 90-pounders. Those are coy wolves. Where's this Milwaukee? I mean, it's possible some wolf might have mated with coyotes and had coy wolf pups. These are, yeah, those aren't coyotes. Coyotes don't usually reach much more than 40 pounds. I'm not sure what the record is, though, but isn't anywhere near 90. Clark lives near 40th and Mill. He said he's noticed coyotes in the area for years, but the size of the two spotted recently has heightened concerns. He posted a sign on the side of the road earlier this month that reads $500 bounty for 2 coyotes. There is a coyote problem. There's a lot of them, and they howl and they get into mischief and kill animals. There's 2 90-pounders running around like silver. What inspired you to put a bounty on them? It's funny. What inspired you? Because I don't want my cat hurt. Yeah, you know what? I love Snowbell too. Clark said his cat Patty wouldn't stand a chance faced with the coyotes spotted nearby. This is all for Patty. It is illegal to hunt wildlife in the city of Milwaukee. Oh, it wasn't hitting me that Milwaukee was a large city. I keep on thinking of some small town. Police directed WISN
Because
12.
there are no animals in Milwaukee for the most part, so you don't know what it is.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it keeps shifting. Okay, so to the Department of Natural Resources regarding the legality of such a bounty. So, according to Wisconsin hunting regulations, there is a continuous open season for coyotes. Though it is illegal to bait coyotes for the purpose of hunting, I'm not here to tell anybody how to do it. It's just you bring them, hey, here's the money, and I don't have to worry about them. Let's see. So 500, is that for one? For both. It says on the sign 2 coyotes. I actually thought it was for one. But anyway. According to Milwaukee City ordinances, it is illegal to fire a gun within city limits. Hunting with a bow and arrow or crossbow within 100 yards of someone's home is also illegal. Okay. If you're going to release them, release it 100 miles away, please. I don't want them. Oh, I thought this was the city, not him. Because I was like, geez, 100 miles away. I don't want them coming back, but it was him. I mean, I okay, well, this was goofy.
That was the point. I just thought
Yeah.
it was funny.
Yeah, it's pretty silly. I mean, anyway, yeah, let's head on to the next article. Wisconsin. First, I get first it disappoints me with the bobcat thing, and then the coyote thing, or coy wolf maybe. Anyway, moving forward from ksby.com, sea otters are growing in numbers and facing more human disturbance. Okay. It's Sea Otter Awareness Week, and in Morro Bay, the marine mammals population is higher than ever. But with increased numbers comes more interactions with people. There are around 3,000 sea otters from Half Moon Bay down to Santa Barbara, according to the Sea Otter outreach nonprofit Sea Otter Savvy. Data shows 70 of those adult sea otters call Morro Bay home. This is the highest count we ever had in Morro Bay, and so that number is definitely increasing. Sea otters are now listed as threatened. Yeah, I think they've been that way for a long time. The average number of times a day that sea otters disturb throughout our study areas on the Central Coast is 6.
Aren't sea otters attacking surfers?
Oh yeah, that too. Actually, along Santa Barbara, I think as well. I think we went over that a little while back. But the who's disturbing them? 6 times a day?
The surfers.
I, No, you know who might be causing a problem? It's not necessarily the people. There's been an increase in the amount of rabid sea lion occurrences, and literally, it's like how did all of a sudden this rabies situation get out of hand? All of a sudden, down in Namibia and South Africa, there are more sea lion with rabies incidents. Ugh, blame them. We stay further away. We don't get up close to otters. They are so friendly, but they are wild creatures. So we give them a lot of space. Let's see. Bentel says kayakers account for 85% of sea otter disturbances in the last 10 years. The nonprofit's data collection. Seriously, you're tagging the kayakers? What do they do? Hold on a second. Does it count if a sea otter decides to jump on board? Because I've seen that where they will just hop on. And sometimes they might hop on because there's an orca underneath that wants some, hairy
So basically, what you're doing is you're disturbing feeding the orca.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm not sure what you would call that. A otter, a fluffy otter finger. I don't know. A fluffy otter chicken.
Wait, wouldn't
Oh
you be a
gosh.
rescuer? Wouldn't you
Yeah,
just be rescuing the otter?
yeah, you would. Sometimes I think I've seen them even drag their pups on board or kittens. Anyway, it's what you can call a baby otter a kitten. Anyway, so let's think about a sea otter having to swim away repeatedly from a kayaker. What? That can impact their long-term survival and health. How? What on earth? Okay. You know what?
I
Uh,
didn't think this one would be so funny, but when I picked it,
yeah, we need to go after those sea lions with rabies and whatever the source is for them having rabies. Anyway, these are our stickers that we put on all the kayaks just to make sure people know that you have to keep at least 100 feet away from the otters. And if they come up to you, you're still guilty, aren't you? My gosh. Who are you
it's like the
people?
polar bear that came up onto the person's house. It's the person's fault for having the house there.
Yeah, sea otter savvy. I still like sea otters. It's just this. During the pandemic, we did see an increase in people bringing their own craft. They didn't want to go through the shops, or some shops weren't open, so they bought their own kayaks. And we continue to see an increasing level of disturbance caused by personal kayaks. And they are the hardest for us to reach. What? Um. Okay, yeah, let's go to the next one.
Stop disturbing the black bears by running down the trails.
Yeah, I mean that really is a similar thing. 5 kayak lengths of distance between you and any sea otter, especially a resting sea otter. I've never heard of this. I didn't know that that was recommended. Um, should I mean okay. From Science News, paleontologists discover new species of iguanodontian dinosaur. A team of paleontologists from Portugal, Italy, the United States, and Belgium has added another species of herbivorous dinosaur to the prehistoric catalog, Caryocessus bocagai. Have we had any sources recently? Anyway, let's see. He lived in what is now Portugal during the Barremian age of the Cretaceous period, around 125 million years ago. So many species of iguanodontids were occurring at this point. Slightly earlier, you had the famous iguanodon occurring over in England, which reached somewhere around 30 to 33 feet, or around 9 to 10 meters in length, and could have weighed as much as 4 to 5 tons. The newest species was a medium sized iguanodontian, a group of herbivorous dinosaurs with strong bodies and complex teeth. I will.
How many types of iguanodontian are there?
Oh, I'd say at least, over 70 different species. That's also not including like the different species of hadrosaurs.
Are there dwarf versions?
Yes, there were much smaller species. So let's see. Iguanodontians. Yeah, okay, let's see. At the end of the Jurassic, iguanodontians were limited in species diversity and body mass, with the largest one being Camptosaurus. These dinosaurs were mostly confined to the central region of the northern part of the Jurassic landmasses, corresponding to modern Wyoming, Tanzania, and Portugal. Well, this was simply because even though the continents had split quite a bit during that time, you still had it where there was quite a bit of connectivity between certain continents. So that's why you can find certain species or different species of Allosaurus in North America and Europe, which existed at the time of Camptosaurus during the late Jurassic. So this is taking place at around 149 million years ago when referring to like Camptosaurus, Allosaurus. But let's retrack back to the Cretaceous.
Wait, was Allosaurus in South America?
No. It's been found in Europe, specific like Allosaurus europus, and then Allosaurus fragilis is located in North America, both living at around the same time. So let's see. By the mid Cretaceous, the clade had gained global distribution. The selective pressures and environmental factors that drove this diversification during the Jurassic Cretaceous transition are still poorly understood, mainly because of the scarcity of iguanodontian material from various regions, such as South Africa, from the dawn of the Cretaceous. The Cretaceous started around 145 million years ago. Iguanodontians are amongst the first dinosaurs to have been discovered and studied, and much research has been aimed at investigating the role and function of their anatomical characteristics. However, various cranial features remain enigmatic, from the function of the supraorbital bone to their paleoneurology and sensory system. So I believe this is of the individual that they found.
Nice
It's
teeth.
yeah, it's a decent that's a decent upper jaw. Definitely has that molar shaped distinct iguanodontian tooth arrangement and also just morphology in general. Yeah. It's too bad they at least it does I don't think they found part of the bottom jaw. Anyway, let's keep going. Partial skull of Cariocus bocaci was discovered in 2016 along the cliffs of western Portugal from the Papo Seco Formation. Oh, okay. About 37 centimeters long, or what, 13 to 14 inches. The specimen is the first ever iguanodontian skull from this country. The specimen was discovered. Oh, wow. Well, that's good for Portugal. The specimen was discovered in the Papo Seco Formation along the southwestern shore of the Setúbal Peninsula, approximately 200 meters, 600 feet north of Praia do Arraia do Mastro. Detailed sequence analysis indicates that the early Cretaceous units exposed along this margin were deposited during the fourth and final rifting episode associated with the formation of the Lusitanian Basin. So this is also, I think, where like sauropods such as Lusititan were discovered, which was like a 70-foot long, 75-foot long animal. Probably weighed like up to probably somewhere around 30 to 40 tons. The researchers examined the fossil and identified anatomical features never seen in any other iguanodontian species. However, that specific sauropod lived far before this iguanodontian evolved. The maxilla and the jugal bone are completely fused. We've never seen that in any other iguanodont. Huh. It's not a random abnormality. This is a truly unique trait and therefore a new species. Micro CT scans allow the scientists to examine the cranial nerves and inner ear in exceptional detail. A skull is always a special find. It tells us far more than isolated bones. In this case, we could even trace impressions of the brain and nerves and reconstruct parts of the inner ear. The structure of the balance organs and auditory nerves gives us clues about how this animal lived and oriented itself. Another striking feature is an unusually low eyebrow bone, lower than in any other known iguanodontian. Interesting. Considering iguanodon itself, Decododon over in North America, had already evolved, but this animal is showing quite unique, striking features that you don't see apparently in any other iguanodont. It likely supported a heavy brow ridge, possibly similar to those seen in modern eagles. That kind of structure may have had functional or even visual significance. The teeth of Carucassus Bogakai also offered surprising insights. Micro CT scans revealed not only the visible teeth, but also replacement teeth embedded in the jaw. So they were already, the new ones were already coming through. Even both plant eating and carnivorous dinosaurs would have continuously shed their teeth throughout their life, just like modern day sharks, crocodiles, and alligators. So you can also have it where every 2 years they're losing their teeth, sometimes even more
Does any
often.
mammal do that?
Not that I know of. I mean, some mammals have 6 sets of teeth, some have 10 sets. And then there's, ones like primates that have two.
Wait.
But
Some mammals have 10 sets of teeth?
I believe so. It's not hitting me specifically what they are. Elephants, for instance, have 6 sets of teeth.
That means when they lose a tooth, they keep getting them for 6 separate times?
Yes.
Or they push them out as they go?
Well, yeah, a new one is coming in. So immediately after, like those original, not necessarily baby teeth, but um, like the third set is slowly coming through once the second set has already been in place for some time.
But it doesn't do that with their tusks. Which one?
No, it's the same. That just one set of tusks for life.
But you said tusks are teeth, right?
Oh, yeah, that is true. They are their own distinct set of teeth, though. So, not the same as like the teeth in their mouth. So let's see. This kind of tooth replacement is typical for iguanodonts. It has rarely been observed so clearly in early species. According to the team, Cariocassis bocaci may have had a more powerful bite than its relatives. Wow, there's a lot of things going on with this individual. This discovery, the discovery of Cariocassis bocaci, augments our understanding of the ecological structure of early Cretaceous environments in the Lusitanian Basin, suggesting the presence of more than one iguanodontian species, mimicking the trend seen in other coeval habitats in the United Kingdom, Belgium, Spain, and Central Africa. The reason why it's mentioning these different countries, well, Central Africa as a whole, is because there have been a wide variety of different formations as well as basins that contain different species of iguanodonts during this time, as well as throughout the early Cretaceous. And so they were a very successful group. The Barremian diversity of iguanodontian taxa was caused by insular endemism events, which originated after a dispersal of North American dryomorphs, so such as animals like the smaller Dryosaurus, which was only about 200 to 220 pounds or a little over 100 kilograms that lived during the late Jurassic, but it wasn't the only one of its kind. I believe animals such as like the Heterodontosaurus, though, were a bit. They were related to the Dryosauromorphs, but they weren't like exactly of like, especially the same subfamily between the late Jurassic and the early Cretaceous. In conclusion, the discovery of Cariocastis bocaci highlights the importance of the Hotterivian, Barremian, Aptian. So these are different stages in the early Cretaceous for the diversification and speciation of iguanodontians that led to the evolution of the more sophisticated hadrosaurids in the Turonian. So I believe that's referring to the beginning of the late Cretaceous, so somewhere between 95 to 100 million years ago. This is really interesting to see. Um, at first, now we don't know exactly how large this animal was. At least I don't think it told us. But the thing is that there's just definitely a lot going on with its morphology, um, especially within the skull. Okay, so it's really good to hear that about this new find in Portugal. So let me know in the chat, like, what your favorite species of iguanodontian is, or Portuguese dinosaur. Can be early Cretaceous dinosaur in general from any part of the world. And since we even mentioned the late Jurassic, you could stick that in too. So let's head over to the next one.
Okay, this isn't intentional.
Okay, so from IFLscience.com, the world's newest whale species is critically endangered with only 50 individuals left. We found a new whale species. The Rice's whales were only officially recognized in 2021, and they are already critically endangered. In January 2019, a beached whale in Florida started a chain reaction that led to the discovery of a brand new whale species. Originally thought to be a slightly funky population of bride's whales, the newly minted Rice's whales became Earth's newest whale species. There's only one problem: there are just 50 of these individuals remaining.
How would we know that?
Yeah, the estimates of these different animals, they can be pretty hard to pinpoint. It's, I think, a bit easier, possibly with animals like certain cetaceans that tend to stay at higher depths or closer to the surface.
But I mean, how many blue whales are there?
Um, well, yeah, the blue whales, the estimate is somewhere between 15,000 to 30,000, also spread out in different populations. But yeah, it can be a big question. Let's see. The specimen was left to decompose at a sandbar, and then the carcass was eventually taken to the Smithsonian National Museum of Natural History. Their measurements and photographs were taken of the skull, and comparisons were made to other species and specimens to determine where this creature belonged. Genetic material from skin samples was also tested, confirming that this was not a bride's whale or subspecies. In 2021, it was recognized as a whole new species. Rice's whale, Balaenoptera ricei. Rice's whale is the only baleen whale species referring to so when somebody is referring to a baleen whale, they're referring to basically the krill filters or the specific whales that have those teeth made out of keratin, so the same substance that your fingernails and hair are made out of. So when they have that distinct type of tooth structure, that's a baleen whale. Species that lives year round in the northeastern Gulf of Mexico. Oh, they're not far away. In the continental shelf break between 100 meters or 328 feet and 400 meters, much or as deep as 1,312 feet. Given their newness as a species and the lack of an extensive population, not much is known about their behavior. I'd say with quite a variety of whales, still a big question with their behavior, even like blue whales in general. One tagging study revealed that over 3 days, a female engaged in deep diving behavior during the day and under 15-meter or 49 feet or foot dives at night. Interesting. Wow, that 49 feet. Is it just taking I, hmm. In contrast to or let me phrase that. It was suggested that she could have been feeding on deep sea shoals of fish in contrast to the bride's whale that
How
primarily feeds near the surface.
how long is a blue whale?
Well, the question is like, is this specifically a species of blue
No,
whale?
no,
Because
that's not my question. How long is a blue whale?
they can get to 100 feet.
So basically, it's like a blue whale just looked downwards.
If that, I mean, I think a blue whale, if you it's somewhere around 18 to 20 feet tall. So it's possible. Yeah, I would have dove slightly, but
Wouldn't it just angled itself down? It would have been down 25 feet or 50 feet.
yeah, it wouldn't take very much. Rice's whales are also known to produce vocalizations of a longer moaning sound when compared to any other bride's whale call. Historically, whaling would have targeted, yes, obviously. Let's see. Was it not a very common species? Saying only 30,000 between that time. Um,
If they just discovered it, how do they know how many there were?
yeah, maybe it's certain sightings or reports of how many were fished and maybe also a specific look. They were able to identify them. And that's my only guess. Supposedly, the 2010 Deepwater Horizon oil spill was thought to have killed a fifth of them. I don't know where that was, but anyway. Other marine debris is, yeah, okay. Wait, noise. Yeah, it's not new. Wow, this person literally just gave up. I'm not confident that in 50 years that they're going to be around. Honestly, I wouldn't bet my life on it. Usually, when you hear that there's like, um, at least 50 of a certain species existing, and let's say that, they're not inbred. Like conservationists will immediately hop to action, especially like a whale. I mean, I'm referring also to like, rhinos or some rare wolf. But it's immediately like we have to protect this. We have to make sure nobody can purchase this land. let's let's do everything we can and let's get some to captivity. But obviously it's a whale. But this was uh, I give up. It's too much. It's like how could you? It's we can do this. The vaquita dolphin, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's on its way out. There's, like, what, 5 to 8 individuals? Oh, yeah, let's go to the next one. So, from KOB.com, barely getting by, local wildlife park asks for help feeding black bear. What? Is this that fat one that I saw somewhere in, like, Idaho? Mm, okay, well, I'll read a little bit. So, Edgewood, New Mexico, local wildlife park is asking for donations to help their bear pack on. Um, nobody coming over? This doesn't look like a starving bear, unless he has some sort of physical problem, and I just can't tell. Maggie is a 2-year-old black bear. Oh, that can't be the individual. Or she's just huge. Who lives at Wild West Nature Park in Edgewood. She has a ferocious appetite. She gets more hungry in the fall because she's preparing for winter. She moved into the park last summer because she was a little too food motivated on her own. She was eating the dog food and kind of just being a nuisance. And so the Department of Game and Fish captured her with donuts and they brought her here.
They're trying to give the bear diabetes.
Because they eat donuts too. Maintaining Maggie's diet to more than 20,000 calories a day and feed. Okay. I really don't think a captive bear, even in the fall, should be given that much. And feeding dozens of other animals at the volunteer run park is taking a toll. Until recently, a store donated leftover produce to the zoo, but a policy change quashed that agreement. In its
Yeah,
place,
this happened all over the place.
yeah, I was going to say that
Yeah,
this
grocery
is,
stores used to just give their food to people to give to their animals, and all of a sudden they stopped doing it.
yeah, in its place is a large food bill. This bear eats $1,000 a month of food. That's it? Some months are more than that, so that's quite a bit, plus all our other animals we feed. So we're spending almost $4,000 a month. As they work to find another store willing to do the same, they're asking our community for help to feed Maggie. If you'd like to help Maggie out, it's as simple as bringing the park a bag of apples. She loves any kind of fruit, pretty much, and she loves nuts. And she does eat some vegetables too. She likes sweet potatoes and, things that are a little sweeter. um, the park is asking for food or money donations to help them, and Maggie, especially as we get closer to winter. So it just sounds like, yeah, they just
I
need
like that they're asking for food donations and not asking for directly money,
yeah, yeah, they're
because to me that
actually,
says they're looking for people just to help with food.
yeah, they seem pretty legitimate. Um, she doesn't really hibernate here, but she does get really slowed down in the winter, and then she won't eat too much. Actually, it's pretty similar with many black bears within the southern United States in general, because I've mentioned before, we're like the southeastern southeastern American black bears don't tend to hibernate very much. Maybe they will participate in like a week or 2 week slumber, but then they'll immediately wake up because there's just those massive heat waves that come through even during the winter. That's just part of a subtropical climate. But even different parts of like West Texas, southern New Mexico, Arizona, and California, you're going to have it where they're not really going to hibernate very much either. So let's see. The park is open 7 days a week. They're still operating on summer extended hours, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., and their winter hours are 12 to 4 p.m. So they have a donation link, $12 for adults, $10 for seniors, and $5 for students. And if somebody's 4 years or younger, like they're free. Okay. So, wait, what's this place called? Oh, it was the what's it called? Wild West Nature Park. I think it's somewhere in New Mexico. Edgewood? Yeah. Okay, well, let's head over to the next one. Hopefully the bear gets more fish, nuts. Maybe somebody donates some venison, but they're definitely asking for fruit. So, animals.howstuffworks.com. Horned frog, snake eating ambush predator with tiny teeth. Guess we could take a look at him. Literally. So, the horned frog, also called the horned toad or ornate horned frog, belongs to the genus Ceratophrys or Ceratophrys, a group of amphibians native to South America. With its fat body, camouflage coloring, and horn-like eye ridges, this frog is built for ambush. It doesn't hop much. It waits, and when food comes close, it lunges with a giant mouth that takes up most of its body. It's an amphibian just like other frogs. The most well-known species is Ceratophyrus ornata, or the Argentine horned frog. This frog can grow as large as 6.5 inches or 16 centimeters and weigh over 1.1 pounds or zero point 0.5 kilograms. These horns are actually just skin folds above the eyes. They help the frog blend into leaf litter, especially in dry summer months where when it stays buried in sand or soil to conserve moisture. Horned frogs aren't picky eaters. In the wild, they'll eat insects, other frogs, rodents, lizards, and even snakes. Their wide jaws let them swallow prey nearly as big as they are. In captivity, keepers often feed them crickets, mice, and specially formulated commercial food. A horned frog won't chase down a meal. They rely on camouflage and stillness. They wait motionless, then strike fast with a powerful grasp. Those tiny teeth and strong jaws can make a serious dent in prey or a careless finger. Horned frogs start life as eggs laid in water. Okay, so let's see. Oh, males tend to be smaller, and the females, yeah, they're larger and they live longer.
They all look different. Look at that one. Go back to the others.
Yeah, but it's not saying whether or not it's male or female. Yeah, we honestly have no idea.
Wait, is that the same frog?
Mm, he could be in a captive setting. I think there's glass.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Oh, sure. Captivity, 10 years. Whoa, what is it? In the wild. Let's see. Okay. Its skin color can slightly shift with its mood or environment. Okay. Well,
well, my skin
yes.
color shifts too when I'm in the sun. It turns red.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Let's head over to the next article. IFLscience.com. We are here to inform you about something you should know. Seals have nails.
It just sounded funny.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's being realistic because here they are. So let's see. Curiously, the seal nails look as though they've been randomly slapped halfway up the flipper in fur seals. But this is because they sit where the toe bones end. The rest of the flipper is made up of cartilage, which is bendy and good for swimming. But they need the stiffness of the toe bones to effectively use their seal nails to groom the fur on their backs. Fur seals use their nails constantly for grooming, which keeps them in check. But for other less fashion forward species like harbor seals, the nails on their front flippers can get a little long in captivity when they're not scrambling on rocks and wavy waters. I would think this would go the same for pretty much any pinniped, which is the family of mammals that consists of walruses, elephant seals, sea lions, um, ring seals. Anyway, any species in captivity, with these types of nails, if they don't have access to, um, anyway, it's going to be a problem. Uh, okay, let's just go to another one. Okay, so from imexpot.de, divers discover 110,000-year-old mammoth tusk in German lake. Huh. Okay, so let's take a look here. Germany, when it comes to the Cenozoic era, a lot has been discovered from the Paleocene epoch, or somewhere between 55 to 62 million years ago. And you have like different species of like the older terror birds, first horses, even different um, mm, just other large mammals in the region. So let's take a look. Divers in Germany have made a sensational archaeological discovery at the bottom of a lake, a 110,000-year-old woolly mammoth tusk. 80-centimeter tusk discovered in Salzgitter. Two divers have discovered an 80-centimeter woolly mammoth tusk in Salzgitter, Lower Saxony. So this is over in northwestern Germany. Hurricane, okay, so these two discovered the tooth in July and delivered it to the Schloss-Stadler Museum in Salzgitter, where it is being conserved. What makes the tooth so special, apart from it being 110,000 years old, so this is a late Pleistocene epoch, or during the later part of the Ice Age, is that it is in one complete piece. Conservationists believe the tooth came from a young woolly mammoth that lived during the late Ice Age. Yeah, that's where it's from. The tusk is currently being conserved in a water tank to ensure it remains undamaged and hydrated. Further conservation work is expected to take around 2 years before the tusk goes on display at the local museum. In April, researchers discovered 1.1 million year old microbes and bacteria in mammoth fossils, which is now the oldest known bacterial DNA from an animal microbe. Actually, I think it was around 1.2 million years old. And, where this was specifically found, I think it was possibly some part of Russia, and it was referring to the steppe mammoth or, Mammuthus chungarini, and possibly also from an earlier ancestor of the woolly mammoth. So let's see. In 2023, an Australian startup also managed to use mammoth DNA to create a mammoth meatball. Uh Okay. I did also hear rumors of a couple of guys, they found frozen mammoth, flesh, and they supposedly ate it. I don't know if that's true, but I I don't know why you would want to. I mean, uh,
I think most people, when they think mammoth, only think woolly mammoth.
yeah, pretty much. There aren't many mammoth species that have been discovered. There have been a wide range of different species of, you could say, prehistoric elephants, but there are also the mastodons and the earlier gomphotheres. And if you travel further back, they had very short trunks, almost barely a trunk in some instances, very short tusks. Some weren't much larger than a sheep, so we're talking somewhere around 200 pounds. And yeah, when it comes to mammoth species, I believe only somewhere around 10 to 15 species have been discovered. So, oh, is there anything else? Okay. Well, this was interesting. I mean, it's nice to hear that we found tusks over in Lower Saxony, Germany. You don't hear a lot of fossils come from that region. More, it was much further south of where I was talking about during the Paleocene epoch. We're also talking about what 55 to 60 million years earlier. And no, the elephant family had not evolved yet at that point. So they wouldn't come around until much later, like during the Miocene epochs, around 20 to 25 million years ago. So there it
Okay, I
is.
know I'm doing a lot of seals, but some of these were just funny to me.
The dodo. Is this not the same one? We did this. Yeah, we did this. Okay, so from NBCConnecticut.com, bear breaks into Simsbury home, eats food while teen sleeps. The bear returned to the following morning, prompting wildlife officials to set up a trap in hopes of capturing the bold intruder. So, a Simsbury family had an unexpected and unwelcome house guest on Sunday night. A lot of these occurrences, it's like the polar bear over in St. Anthony, Newfoundland. It happened on a Sunday evening. This is weird. When a bear broke into their home.
Wait, isn't that the video that's coming out?
Yeah. Rummaged through food and left only after being scared off by police. Same bear returned the following morning, prompting wildlife officials to set a trap in hopes of capturing the bold intruder. Michelle Lemais said the family had never experienced anything like it in their 23 years on Criswell Drive. He started at the front door of the house, came around, broke my entire screen door, whipping the air conditioner out of the window, climbed in and out through the window. Lemais had just pulled into her driveway around 6 p.m. Sunday when she noticed something was wrong. I came home and noticed that the whole screen door was broken, the metal pieces bent. I got out of the car to look a little closer and noticed that the air conditioner had been pulled from the window. That's when she spotted the bear at the front door. I called the police. They were on their way, and the bear walked from the front door right through the screen that he already broke. And I watched him climb through the side window of the breezeway into the house. So this bear is Tom Cruise, I'm guessing. This was a impossible mission that he made possible. Dun-dun. Inside the home at the time was her 17-year-old daughter, Malign Lemais, who was asleep. She called her to wake her up and then called 911.
Somebody must have left cookies on the counter.
Um, yeah, it sounds like that. All I heard was, "Do not open your door. Do not go out of the room at all." I heard him walk down the hall a little bit. I just hear heavy breathing, and I'm like, "Oh boy, yeah, Scientology will do that to you." Anyway, as the bear moved closer to her bedroom, Meline was made a split-second decision to hide. I heard it went to this closet and just went right in like this, and I closed it and I sat there for 10 minutes. Sounds like she's standing and they're interviewing her. For the way the sentence is structured. Those minutes, the high school senior said, felt much longer. He was right at my door, and I was like, please do not come in. He was sniffing around.
Wait, is the high school senior the bear or the kid?
I think it's the kid. Cruz is still looking for snacks. When Simsbury police arrived, the bear was spooked and ran to the woods. The uh, the officer just went in a really deep voice, "Get out, bear!" All of a sudden, the bear came back out this window, went to the backyard around, and broke the fence to get out when he was gone. And he was gone. The bear helped itself to snack and left behind a mess. He ate a jar of mayonnaise, Nutella, took my new crunchy grapes from Costco that I hadn't even eaten yet. The entire tin of grapes, then took a chicken roast out of the refrigerator but never touched it. Yeah, that sounds like him.
That's because he found Nutella.
Yeah. Um, the next morning, the bear returned as Lemice was getting ready for work. I looked out the bay window and the bear is there again at my front door trying to get in. When I heard that again, I'm like, no, there's no way he's back. Okay. Now he's Arnold. He's like, I'll be back. And to be that assertive to shake that front door. Concerned about their safety with paw prints still on their floors and doors, the family is on edge. He has been captured before. He's never entered a house, but I said I'm not comfortable with this bear knowing how to get into my house. I have a dog, I have a family. They said if they relocate, he'll end up coming back. If I had gotten the tag number yesterday and it matched the tag number today, they would be able to euthanize it just because it entered a house. But not knowing it's the same bear, they're not sure they want to do that.
So let me get this straight. Attack the people for the seal, but the bear comes by and you need to kill him.
Yeah. The Department of Energy and Environmental Protection has since placed a large bear trap in the family's front yard baited with donuts, hoping to lure the bear back and safely remove it. It's always donuts. Not a lot. Oh yeah, they forgot these people also eat donuts. Not a lot really happens in Simsbury, but I guess when you've got bears that are hungry, they'll come, and they definitely do. Okay, well, um, hope this this bear is going to be okay. Um, and hopefully he just focuses on like different types of wild nuts and maybe like certain fruit for the fall. So let's see. Moving forward from phys.org, scientists discover a new dinosaur from Argentina with a crocodile bone in its mouth. Wow. Okay. Looks like a megaraptor.
Doesn't that look like someone's arm?
Yeah, it does. I mean, the crocodilomorphs did have, five distinct fingers. Now, depending on how long ago this was, it could have been as like a certain species of crocodilian, maybe even a caiman, especially South America, the megaraptors. It's very possible. Oh. Scientists have discovered a new dinosaur from Argentina with powerful claws feasting on an ancient crocodile bone. The new find was possibly 23 feet or 7 meters long and hailed from a mysterious group of dinosaurs called Megaraptorans. They prowled across what's now South America, Australia, and parts of Asia, splitting off into different species over millions of years. So this was during the late Cretaceous. I believe there were certain Megaraptorans that were even around during the early Cretaceous, over 110 million years ago, but many of them they're usually talked about during that last 15 to 20 million years of the Cretaceous. Megaraptorans were known for their stretched out skulls and huge and very powerful claws. They did have quite elongated claws, not like what you see in certain species of Spinosaur. Like technically, the Spinosaurs had the most muscular um, arms of pretty much any predatory dinosaur, though Dinosaurus also had quite
Is that the one with the big, long claws?
no, those are therizinosaurs, which it's still a bit of a mystery as to what their claws might have been used for. It's possible because they couldn't bring or necessarily, I think, reach above their head. So why would you need to pull down branches if your head's higher than the furthest extent of your arms? So were they used for battle? I think it's a bit of a question as to how robust those claws were, because there were some claims saying that the um, Therizinosaur claws, especially Therizinosaurus, were quite delicate.
Wait a minute. So which dinosaur was it?
It was Therizinosaurus. So let's see. Um, has it mentioned though? I don't think it mentioned so far like how long ago this Megaraptor was discovered. Like, as in how long ago during the Cretaceous. Now, 23 feet it's a medium size, larger medium
I cannot spell that.
Megaraptor. Theriz.
Got it. Hold on.
Technically, the largest Megaraptorans could reach over 33 feet or around 10 meters, and that was with Mape. But he lived during the last
This this
4
is what
million
I was
years.
asking about.
Yep, this is Therizinosaurus. And yeah, this isn't a bad model. I mean, it's very possible that these animals might have been covered in feathers, even though for this specific species, Therizinosaurus, there hasn't really been any evidence for them containing feathers, but they have close relatives that have been preserved with feathers. So it's very possible they did.
Now, this isn't what the article's about. This is just
Mm.
what I asked.
Yeah, this is the specific animal. And it's a big question as to what those long claws would have been used for. And they could reach up to 3 feet in length. There's a source was somewhere around 30 to 35 feet in length, so reaching around 11 meters, and possibly it was quite tall for its length as well. I think it could reach over 16 feet in height, or around 5 meters. So let's see. So the latest okay. So, in a new study, researchers said they uncovered part of a skull as well as arm, leg, and tail bones from the Lago Huapai rock formation in Patagonia. They noticed unique features in the bones that made them realize this could be a new species. This latest member of the Megaraptorian clan, named Huacanraptor casseli, fills a major gap by providing one of the most complete skeletons yet. Whoa, yeah, that's is that a claw? Not even a toe bone? Yeah, it's probably a claw. It's very distinct from the spinosaurs like Baryonyx and Suchomimus. They had a It was a much more robust and, also a bit more curved than what you see in Megaraptorans, but Megaraptorans were much more slender and, I'd say they were bit better designed for slicing to an extent. Let's see. Wait, hmm. Well, okay, so not sure about the skull, but we definitely have a full intact, shoulder girdle, and so it's this area right here. The interesting thing is, if you look at this, technically the forelimb of this animal is longer than the shoulder girdle is. It is the complete opposite with T Rex. T Rex shoulder girdle is actually longer than the arm itself. So, um, anyway, so there's the claw. Wow, that's not even the largest one. And the thigh bone fully intact. Looks like three tail vertebrae and part of the tibia or the shin bone, as well as parts of the toe bone, as well as claw and intact ribs. Okay, so it likely lived somewhere between 66 and 70 million years ago. So around the same time as me, close to the time dinosaurs went extinct. It was at least 19 years old when it died. So
Did you say
scientists,
it lived around the same time as me?
MAPE. That was a distinct. It
I
was the
thought you said
largest.
me. I'm like, "What?"
No, it was the largest Megaraptor species. But this was already an older individual. It was probably close to finish with most of its growing. Though technically dinosaurs could continue growing throughout their life, especially past 30. They was just at a much slower rate. But 19 years old, yeah, it's a big question as to whether or not it might have been finished with that more rapid growth incident. So let's see. The front leg bone pressed against its jaws, belonging to an ancient relative of crocodiles, could yield some clues to its diet and whether it was the top predator on the humid prehistoric floodplains. That is interesting. So now it looks like we literally have evidence for megaraptors hunting the crocodilomorphs. So, um, okay. So, yeah, this was quite interesting. Glad we found did it say it was a new species of yeah, I think it did, of, Megaraptor, so it's really good to hear, as well as the hunting the crocodilomorphs. So let's head into, the next article. So let's see. From IFLscience.com, interbreeding hybrid giant salamanders are creating a very sticky situation for conservationists. Escapees of the restaurant trade are making things tricky for the conservation of giant salamanders. So, rock or sentient salamander, Chinese salamander. Chinese salamanders can get to somewhere around 150 pounds. The Japanese giant salamander is much smaller. I believe they get to somewhere around 40 to 70 pounds. Roughly the size of a small human, the Chinese giant salamander is one of the largest amphibians in the world. I think it is the largest amphibian. These blob like beasts are sometimes called living fossils as they belong to a lineage stretching back 170 million years. In recent decades, however, a new phenomenon has emerged in their strange and twisting tail hybrids. Growing up to 1.8 meters or 5.9 feet. Chinese, yeah, I think Japanese giant salamanders, they get to around 3 feet. Chinese giant salamanders are native to the Rocky Mountain streams of central China. With flat heads, tiny eyes, and loose folds of wrinkled skin, they cut a strange figure that could be easily confused for a freckled rock or a flattened dinosaur. I don't know how you get a flattened dinosaur out of that. Maybe a flattened giant Gila monster. Anyway, they're listed as critically endangered. Let's see. Um, hmm. There are also reports of hundreds of giant salamanders being imported to a private house in Okayama Prefecture, so I guess somewhere in Japan, many of which are believed to have escaped. Handfuls survived in this new ecosystem where they came into contact with the relative from the same genus, the Japanese giant salamander. Scientists have noted how these two species managed to hit it off and started hybridizing in Japan streams. In a 2024 study, researchers collected 68 samples from giant salamanders in the Kamogawa River of Kyoto, as well as several samples from private collections, aquariums, and zoos throughout Japan. They found that some of these individuals were hybrids of Japanese giant salamander and Chinese giant salamander, creating by the two species interbreeding. In some cases, it appears that hybrid offspring also mated with each other or others from the genetically pure populations, creating an even deeper mix of hybridity and gene mixing. Yeah, I don't know if we have even an estimate of the like Japanese giant salamander, Chinese giant salamander populations. I'm guessing it can't be too high. So let's see. Even aside from hybrids, giant salamanders are a taxonomic headache. Back in 2019, scientists confirmed that Chinese giant salamanders were, in fact, made up of three different species, with the South China giant salamander being the largest. Then in 2024, further work revealed they might actually be up to nine different species. Dividing them into more species made their conservation awkward. While protections exist for some recognized species, they do not automatically extend to newly identified ones, many of which still lack official names. See, in Japan, these conservation issues are even more difficult because of the hybrids. No wild pure Chinese salamanders have been seen in Japan since 2011, meaning they are nearly extinct there. I don't know specifically if Chinese giant salamanders have a native range within Japan, um, because there are certain animals that have a name that's it's like distinct to a certain country, but they still have a certain native range within another area. So I'm wondering if it's similar with the Chinese salamanders. And if it is, that's unfortunate that now they're just hybrids. Um, so let's see the species. Okay. Um, okay. So I don't exactly know what to say about this. We also don't know the approximate number of how many of these hybrids there are. Or let me rephrase it. Let's specifically the number of like the different Chinese salamander species as well as the Japanese salamanders. Now, I think that would be quite complicated, but it's also a question just where are they specifically? Okay. Well, we will now do the final article. They also tend to prey on different species of fish. If you're looking at also the Japanese giant salamander, they tend to inhabit cool, um, high rapid streams in different parts of the Japanese mountains. Also on the main islands, I don't believe they're located over in Hokkaido, which is the northern Japanese island. That's where you can find the population of brown bears in Japan. There's around like 2,300 brown bears over in Hokkaido, Japan. So let's see. From WTRF.com, Ohio's the Wild's welcome rare horse and giraffe calves and conservation milestones. So these seem to be Przewalski's horses.
They don't look like giraffes.
Yeah. Um, yeah, it's interesting though. Their distinct color structure, and he's quite he has very unique complexion. Cumberland, Ohio, two rare animals have been born at the wilds, marking significant milestones for the Conservation Center's efforts to protect endangered species, according to a news release from the wilds. A Przewalski's horse foal was born August 9th. Okay, so he was born what, around 2 months ago? To first-time mother Paisley and father Maxim. The wilds announced the species considered the last truly wild horse, went extinct in the wild in the 1960s, but has been reintroduced in parts of Asia through breeding programs. Yeah, it's unfortunate. They're quite inbred due to the low population hit. The new foal is the 26th Przewalski's horse born at the wilds and the first since 2015. Wow. Fewer than 2,500 are estimated to exist worldwide. So I guess this is their new giraffe foal or calf. On August 27th, the center also welcomed a Maasai giraffe calf. So these are the the specific giraffe species that you can find over different parts of Ethiopia, Kenya, Tanzania. Let's see. So to Mother Lulu and Father Raha, according to the Wilds, the birth is part of the Association of Zoos and Aquarium Species Survival Plan, which manages populations of threatened animals in professional care.
How do you call the mother? I mean, who came up with Lulu?
I don't know. Um, outside giraffes are listed. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. It was the first species brought to the wilds in 1992, before the facility opened to the public 2 years later. The giraffe calf marks the 13th sired at the park by Raha since his arrival in 2009. Oh, wow. So he's created quite a few offspring. So it's 2 hours from Pittsburgh. Okay. Well, um, glad they've been actually rearing quite a few giraffe calves, and I think it mentioned what's at least two supposed Przewalski horse births have occurred. So I wonder why there was such a gap. But anyway, let's see. See, went over quite a bit. Trying to think. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this stream. Let me know in the comments, like what you thought about the different situations that have occurred recently. I'm going to look into better things for Sea Otter Awareness Week because that was for it's attacking kayakers. And then what was there something else that occurred? I thought there was
Or
something.
simply kayaking?
Oh yeah, I guess kayaking in
They
general.
weren't even weren't saying fishing
Yeah.
bothering them. They weren't throwing things at the otters.
No, I don't get it. Orca eats a sea otter, nothing happens. Anyway, so from prehistoric to present, my name is Ethan. This is Creature Guy Live Daily News. Remember to like, comment, subscribe if you love talking about animals, and share the show with everyone you know.